we got some big stuff to talk about in this chapter of Fire Brigade. They're doing fucking massive in Japan, doing super popular right now, and I'm excited to hear that. Got big old color spreads and everything. We've got a big information dump as well for the start of the chapter, so get ready for that. And some great setup for some stuff to come. I'm going to say, let's get straight into this chapter of Fire Brigade. So, like I said, there's some color pages, which I absolutely adored in this one. You've got some sick-ass stuff, not to mention as well, getting some confirmation on some names and all that. We found out that the 1st Special Brigade Battalion Commander as well, that his name is Leonardo Burns. I'm like, fuck, that's a cool name. That's a really, really cool name. It's like, god damn it. Then we got the 2nd Special Fire Brigade Battalion Commander, which I think is like, it was like Gustav Honda, like that. I was like, man's name, like that. And then my favorite, I mean, what can I say about that? Is Princess Hibana herself, with the 5th Battalion. I'm like, okay, which we found out her name means splendid fame, so that's interesting. Everyone else, apart from mostly the 8th Battalion Commander with Obi, is like, all of them are 3rd generation users, which I found that was very interesting to see out of like all of them. And you know, we got a cool fucking page out of that. I really did like that really weird, wonky Soul Eater sort of art that we got from it. I was like, you know what? That is like kind of like we saw from like, you know, Okubo's like style. I was like, you know, I praise that. I really get that. Now, here we go. This is going to be the information dump right now. So I take it, if you guys don't want to fucking hear this, then I suggest you go over there because there's a lot of stuff to be talking about. So pretty much from the start of the chapter, we got to find out that, oh, they're still looking for Joker. That's his alias that they're getting him. And it's like, yeah, everything's all chill and everything in the 8th Brigade Church and all that. They're all talking about it and saying like, oh, let's go back to news, everyone. And basically, Shinra's asking about, you know, picking up where we left off yesterday. Like yesterday, I want to become a fire hero. I want to be, you know, someone there. And it's like, well, we need to talk about the origins first, about the Special Fire Brigade, because how the Fire Brigade is made out of 3 different organizations. There's the Fire Defense Agency, there's the Tokyo Military, and then there's the Holy Soul Temple themselves. And all 3 of them come up to make up the organization itself. So we've actually got the original Fire Defense, military like aid in there, and then we got obviously the Soul Temple there. And from the 1st squad, from what we know about, yeah, with Leonardo's group, is the power of the Holy Soul Temple is vast, and the squad is centered around members organizing from the, you know, from the temple. And I was like, okay, that's why it probably has a lot of that. There's a lot of probably holy beliefs going into that, and could explain actually why they're really powerful. And the 2nd squad, which is the military, which is good stuff and all that, you know, they're the strongest, like, military-wise out of all of them and all that. And the 5th squad, which we know about with her thing, is like that, like Hajime, like that, which we find out is that her whole thing is like her company pretty much funds everything. Like her entire company gives them all those armor, their weapons, you know, the power bunkers, like all their equipment to deal with it, war. Like they do pretty much everything. And I think like, well, they're the ones that do the funds, so most of the time they're the most suspicious ones. Also as well, like, I find that really weird how she has like kind of the Nia eyes from like Gurren Lagann, how she has like kind of the crosses in her eye, and pretty much she holds the real influence and power out of everyone. She's the one that's pulling out the funds. But one thing is like very interesting. It's like, of course, every squad is tasked, you know, with the proposal, you know, dealing with like all the flame people and investigations of human combustion. However, the information that each squad gets, that's of their own occur. You know, they have that, so we don't know if they have some like big labs or something like that. They know about the truth of combustion. We don't know. Everyone's probably got a piece of that together, and honestly, it sounds like if all of them like put their heads together and, you know, shared what they knew and all that, we would probably already have the puzzle by now. And this is where the 8th squad breaks into it. It's like their whole thing is to go through 1 to 7. They are going to be there to uncover the truth, whilst they are there to also deal with the fire stuff, like everything of the flame people. Their main objective out of all of it is to go through what the squads 1 to 7 and uncover, like, you know, something about the truth and stuff like that. So I honestly doubt it, like stuff like Tamaki and like people like that. It's mainly more the higher ups and all that know about it. Since like Tamaki's kind of more of the newer crew, I'd imagine. So it's like, yeah, you're not gonna know a lot about that honestly out of all of them. And it's like, I did like that Shinra was like, oh, let me work on that, because this is the thing, is that this whole squad was made out of people that were trustworthy and want to seek out the truth. And I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting, seeing like, oh, even like everyone here is no, like one of them's like a company commander. It's like, you know, we only have like 6 people in the group and all that, and that's because we can't trust that many people. We need to actually get there. And here we go into like talking about more about what the actual ash was made of that they got from Joker. Very interestingly, this is the ash of the flame people inside of there. So obviously they must leave a residue of like combustion around there. And I'm like, okay, so what do they do? Do they just sweep up the areas when the ash people are made and they use this as sort of explosive? Like, that's kind of interesting to see. It's like, and just to see a small jar of that just even left behind, I'd hate to see, is that like does that take one ash person to even make that, or a multiple? Like, what would happen if you like at least like a giant massive of that, like a ton of that explosive? That would just fucking destroy everything. And we was able to even see as well when we saw a little bit back more of the bad guys, where we saw Joker and the Doctor. He was like, oh, by the way, I did a little bit of digging for you guys and all that. We found about the battalion commander, like Akitaro Obi, who is the commander of the 8th Brigade, and finds that while he was decorated twice on all his occasions and all that, he's had his recognitions revoked and all that. And the reasons were mainly because he prioritized saving lives at the expense of defying orders. So pretty much his higher-ups are saying, yo, don't go in there. That's too fucked up right now, or there's some secret shit in there. And he's like, no, fuck your orders. People are alive. Like, people are still in there. Fuck your orders. Literally, this is the retaliation of fuck the police. Well, fuck Fire Brigade, but you get what I mean. And then it kind of goes off to like, Shinra's like, yeah, dealing with like thing people takes top priority, but you know, this is a side project and stuff. And I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. And it's like, I kind of like at the other side, like Arthur's just there, like just bunking his head. It's like, oh my fucking god, I feel horrible right now. It's just like, fuck everything. And it's like, you know, ring calls, duty calls and all that. It's like, yeah, what's up, motherfuckers, like that. And turns out, it's like, you know, we found out a little bit about what their next job was and all that. It's like, yeah. Turns out they got to get something down from a tree and all that. It's like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck is that thing? And then it's like, oh, that's like one of the motherfuckers. Like, that's Mamamura or something from like the 119. I was like, that's interesting. It's like, why the fuck is he up there in a tree like that? And it turns out after like, oh, it was a kind of easy hitch and all that, that a bunch of fucking like just college students and all that just took him for a ride and then dumped him in a tree. I was like, what a bunch of assholes. What a bunch of dicks, actually, who just puts like there. He's like, yeah, he looks like a fucking dog and all that, but it's like, who just puts him up there and say, there you go, mate. It's just like, it was he there on the town and like, oh, look at this fucking dog here. What wanker. What a fucking susspot. Like, no, don't do that. That's fucking horrible. You don't do that to someone. Well, I do that maybe to some of my friends and all that. But it's like, and this is the thing, he gives us more of another plot dump and all that about something about a serial killer who turned out to be a firefighter. And I was like, this was just out of nowhere. It's like, okay, and all that. It's like, and he was like, oh, I was just passing balloons. And all, it's like, oh, let me just tell you about this. And he's saying, like, the trial is still ongoing, but despite being a firefighter, the culprit, like, he murdered, like, 4 people through his personal amusement because his actions resentment towards, like, firefighters and fire surgeons increasing significantly, and his sort of bullying behavior happens every now and then. It's like, honestly, there's going to be things like, oh, this trial is not, like, finally end today, and the rumor is that he will not be found guilty by reason of insanity. And I'm like, really? This motherfucker Miyamoto, which you find out, and it's like, I felt bad. There was actually like people there, like a, you know, people like, I think it was like a husband and a wife there that probably had like one of their kids killed or something like that, a brother like that. And it's like, we found this guy like not guilty because the whole reason is like the law is an absolute joke because, you know, the very foundation of this country would be in trouble if firefighters were found guilty, people who had special powers and all that. It's like, this entire thing is an absolute farce. Like, it's like, really? He's like, he's just getting off because he's a firefighter? That's fucked up. Like, there's some fucked up politics right there. And I was like, okay, he has a really fucked up face, like some like Hungry Joker kind of face. It's like, okay, his fucking hands just started turning on fire. It's like, what the fuck is so hot? And it's like, do you know what this guy goes? And I'm like, I'm not going to blind me. He starts laughing at him. This murderer. He's like, he's laughing at this murderer saying, it's divine punishment. How does that feel? The son of God has passed judgment on you. And he fucking just froze his face, half his face being burnt off and all that, whilst doing this, killing those two like that. I was like, oh my god, this guy's fucked up. And it's like, this is really messed up right now. I was like, that's pretty dark. It's like, And this is the thing, we see him, which honestly, I really do like this design that he's going with that. It's like, he's got like the fucking flame shackles like that, like half the face and all that. Honestly, it really does just remind me, like, you know, like, really, really, really good with these fucking, like, designs and all that, like, look like quiches and all that. Oh, cool, but I gotta give that fucking tops to you right there, because that was fucking great. I really do enjoy this design. I love, like, the kind of little top little horn bit and the little side flames bit and all that, and saying, you enjoy a painful death, all of you enjoy a painful death. I'm, like, laughing, going, like, you're just laughing off. I'm like, fuck, this guy's messed up. And this is the thing, this one has a consciousness, like, as well. Not just saying stuff and all that, where it was, like, kind of saying, like, his laugh from nines. This thing, like, is fully aware of his actions. It already knows. So it's, like, it's still got that mind. And I wonder, does it degrade over time? Or is it just, like, this is a special case? Like, this is a special, like, kind of case where it's, like, maybe someone that's just insanely sick and evil just happens with that. So I'm looking forward to it, because Chapter 10 is called Flame Person with Awareness. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we're going to get more answers to that. But honestly, out of everything that we got, this was a huge info dump of a lot of stuff that we want to know about the politics and all that. I'm kind of glad that it was already addressed. And as much as, like, I have a few issues here and there with Fire Brigade and all that, I do love it and all that. I think this is sort of the stuff that we need and all that to, like, stop it from being, like, you know, it was at first turning very pretty generic and sort of stuff like you can see from a mile away. But now, after actually dumping down some stuff about the politics and all that, it makes the world a little bit more interesting. This stuff, like, I'm glad this was all in just one big chapter, since we get no set out to, like, the new villain and stuff like that. And, you know, it seems like the series is still going for the villain of the week stuff while kind of building this stuff up with Joker and the Doctor, and hopefully we might get, you know, another group going on with this stuff, which I'd like to see. But it's like, you know, definitely this works for a weekly sort of, like, period. Like, I could imagine this should be a monthly chapter right here, because it was a good, like, dozen chapters that, like, I would like to say it was about, like, 27, 28 pages like that. It was pretty decent, and not to mention including the color pages as well. So fucking Okubo, good fucking top kecks to that. I honestly give that to you right there. And honestly, I think, honestly, without the stuff we learned about it, very long chapter, really enjoyable stuff and all that. Because most of the time when it comes to like stuff like this, when it comes to politics and all that, normally real world, like when it's more realistic, I love Game of Thrones kind of politics and stuff like that. I love, like, futuristic politics and stuff like that. It's like, oh, what's kind of politics like that? Modern day kind of politics, although it's in an anime world and all that, it's a little bit weird to understand, like, people without my, like, perspective on this. It's like, a lot of the time I find it really boring and stuff, and this I found actually entertaining and really enjoyable to read, so I really gotta give praise to that and all that. For my personal opinion, I do like this, and it's like, you know what? If you're gonna give us an info dump it all in chapter. Like that. Just do it there. Let me see what I need to know. There you go. And I honestly enjoy this one, and great setup, so I'm honestly going to give this one a fucking solid, flat-out 8. I really enjoyed it. So let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this chapter. But that is all from me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll speak to you guys next time.